Hey folks, last week we released a pop-up inside of the Mojo system where we highlighted the top 10 prospecting leagues in Mojo based on the amount of members that were part of that league. And almost instantly we got a bunch of phone calls into the support queue here at Mojo, as well as a bunch of tickets asking what in the heck this league thing was. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to cover from soup to nuts what the prospecting dashboard is and the various elements of the prospecting dashboard so that you have a better idea of how this can improve your prospecting game. Now, I'm going to warn you, this isn't going to be a short video. It can't be, because there's a lot of things I need to cover. So unlike my other videos, which are pretty quick, typically under 10 minutes in length, this one is not likely going to be like that, simply because I'm going to walk you through an account with very little data in it. It's basically a brand new account, and then I'm going to walk you through an account that I've prepped to show you what it looks like once the prospecting dashboard's all set up and has some dialing time in it, and setting appointments, and setting, labeling contacts, and creating leads, all that fun stuff. So, in this account, we're going to begin by setting up the prospecting dashboard. The first thing I'm going to do, because I want to leverage something called leads inside of the prospecting dashboard, I want that to be part of my metrics, is I'm going to go over to my data and dialer, head down to my groups, and I'm going to choose of my available groups which bucket or group I want to identify as a lead should somebody get assigned to that group. So I'm on the call, I get someone on the phone, they're a lead. Well, where am I going to put that person? And in this case, we're going to put it into hot lead. So how do we do this? What we're going to do is we're going to click the traffic light control, the three vertical dot control, next to the group that we want to designate as a lead group. And then we're going to choose Edit Designate Lead. So I'm just going to check this box right here. Designate Leads, and click Save. You'll see now there's a little star next to that group. And that's just a visual representation so that you know anyone you stick into that group is going to be designated as a lead. Why is that important? Because down the road here in the video, I'm going to show you where we run metrics, your math on how productive you are when you're prospecting, and one of those KPIs is going to be leads generated. All right, so that's done. You can have more than one lead group, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to keep it with the one. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to the prospecting dashboard. And this is where leagues and team dashboards and all that fun stuff we're going to cover reside. So inside of your Mojo, whether you're on the old, or I should say the current platform, or the new one that we have beta testing that we're improving daily, regardless of which one of those you're in, you're going to go up here to the right and click on this phone with this bar graph icon. Once we click it, it's going to open up a new tab. Something to note about this view. A lot of people use this as a team leaderboard. So they have agents, they're making calls, and they'll display this up on a television. And they'll display this dashboard, the team view, which you'll see here in a moment, up on a television inside of their offices to motivate their salespeople. So you don't have to use this simply on a computer monitor. You can put it on a television. We've coded it that way. So let's break this down. Let's break down what we're looking at here. On the left-hand side, we've got the date, and we have what are called your dialing stats. Now, if you've used Mojo before, you're going to have data that's already populated here. All right? It's not going to matter if you've checked a box or set something up. There's always going to be data here. And the way that you can preview that data is by either today, the last 7 days, or the last 30 days. Now, if this account had any dialing activity on it for either today, 7 days, or last 30 days, we would see these metrics: total dialing time, calls, contacts, leads, and appointments set. They would be filled in. All right? And then you'd also see on the bottom here what we have in terms of per hour. So basically your cadence, right? How many calls per hour? How many contacts are you making an hour? How many calls is it taking you to make a contact? What's your contact rate? Again, we're designating leads, right? So we set up that lead group. How much prospecting time, my hours, the most valuable thing to me is my time, right? How much of that am I trading in per lead? How many calls per lead, contacts per lead, and all of that for appointments as well. So it's really cool. But we can take it a step further, all right? The way we're going to do that is, one, this tool is designed to motivate you if you're an individual agent. It's designed to motivate your team if you're in a team environment. Let's say you're a team lead or you're a manager of a group of agents. And we're going to get into all that here. So how does it motivate you? There's 3 different ways that it motivates you. The first one is we have something called a goal coach. And a goal coach is where you as an individual go in, you set goals for yourself, and then we're going to track your progress in this dashboard that you're looking at right here on my screen towards those goals. And then the leaderboard is going to motivate your team because you can do the same sort of tracking for your entire team. And then there's a league functionality, which is super cool, which is what got so much interest in this to begin with on the phones and in our ticketing system. And that's totally different, and we're going to get to that last. So let's go ahead and continue setting this up. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this line of text. Click here to set up your own personal goal and start tracking your progress. So I want to keep myself accountable. How much time do I want to spend on the phone? And I'm going to use it monthly. So I'm going to switch this metric or this measuring stick to month instead of week. You can also put in a custom time. So we're going to say I want to prospect for 15 hours a month. I want to make 12,500 calls. I want to make 125 contacts. I want to generate 15 leads, and I want to set, we'll say 10 appointments. Now, this math's a little off, but that's all right. To the right of that, we've also got the ability to show this goal data inside of your dialing area. Now, that's designed not to distract you, but so that you can see while you're calling your progress to those goals. So you might be like, I'm getting a little fidgety, antsy, I want to get up and I want to go do something else. You look up at the goal and you go, hey, look, man, if I just sit in here for another 25 minutes, I'm at a minimum going to hit my dialing time goal or get a quarter of the way there, whatever it might be, whatever the metric is. For this case, we'll just put dialing time. Now I'm going to go ahead and click submit. What we see now is a grouping of automobile style performance gauges with dialing time, calls, contacts, leads, and appointments. Now, one thing that's important to know about appointments is Mojo, and certainly my developers, engineers, and salespeople and support people do not have any idea when you set an appointment. That's up to you. You have to use the set appointment control inside of Mojo. So you click set, plus appointment, and then you put in the information on the appointment. You click save. Then it knows, it associates that appointment with that dialing activity, and it will show up here. So we have a nice visual representation of where you're at towards your goals, and then we have what's left in terms of required progress to hit your goal. This is one of my favorite parts. I can just bounce in here and say, I've got 2 hours left. I've got 400 calls left. I've got 40 contacts left, whatever it might be. It's really cool. And again, down below, you're going to see a reference, depending on which time control you have over here, how you're doing per hour. Just to kind of get, like I said before, the cadence of how you're rolling on the phones. All right. So this is where you want to stop. That's great. You've got a personal dashboard. You're able to keep yourself accountable. It all looks great. This is also helpful, folks, if you've got someone on the team, potentially, that's an ISA, that's making calls for you. This can help motivate them as well. This can be a carrot that you use. Maybe give them a little bonus, whatever it might be. You just want to follow up with them or check in with them, see what they're doing on the phone. This is a great way to do that. And it's a lot easier to check the temperature on that person than it is to look through our calling report. So let's face it. All right. Let's get off of this. This has been set up. This is great. Let's show you the team leaderboard. Just like the personal goal, we're going to click this text, and it's going to pull up the agents on the account. Now, you're going to check a checkbox to choose who you show on that account, on that team leaderboard. So we're going to choose Dave and John. We're going to click next. Now, these are the team goals. Remember before I said we do kind of the same thing with teams We can do it here. We can say we want them to dial for 250 hours a month. We want them to make 20,000 phone calls. I'm just throwing some stuff out there. We could say we want them to make 250 contacts. We want them to generate 50 leads. Then we want them to set 10 appointments for the month. That's probably a little light, but hey, this is just for a demonstration. I'm going to click submit, and now check this out. Nice, simple progress and performance focused view. Great for a television on the wall, however you want to do it. And it shows the key, my KPIs, the 5 that I'm able to see. And then each agent's name is listed down below with their own personal stats that go towards achieving the team goal. So you can see if you've got someone that's a heavy hitter and someone who's a little light. And then it'll put the person on the team who has the best stats for that metric at the top, and it rates them in order from highest to lowest. So you can see someone that's maybe, someone that's going through a lot of phone calls but is doing poorly setting appointments or maybe not generating as many leads. You can go discuss scripting with them or whatever else, whatever performance-based improvement they need to make. Okay. Me personally, I've still got my personal dashboard. This doesn't change. Nothing I do in the remainder of this video changes that. Only I see this. This is my dashboard. When we go over to the team level, everyone's going to see this. It's up on the wall. It's your stats towards the team goal. All right. Now, this next piece is really cool, and that is total revenue. You can put in your total revenue for that month, and actually any date, because you set the to and from dates, that you made while prospecting, however you want to figure that out. Mojo doesn't know your business logic. That's all up to you. But however you determine how much money or gross commission you have from prospecting, you put it in there. It looks at all of your math, your individual prospecting math, and then it gives each one of those things a value in terms of dollars. It's pretty cool. I'm going to show you that when we move on to the other account where I've got some data populated. Last but not least, we're going to go over and check out the league. There's something called private leagues and public leagues. Public leagues are just that. They're public, and I'm going to show you what that means here in a second. When someone, and by someone I mean a Mojo user, created a league, just like you can here, they marked it as public, and that just means it's searchable. They can go in and people can ask to join it, and they can kind of vet those people as they ask to join. There are also private leagues, which is, let's say you're part of a mastermind group. There's 20 of you all across the country. You don't want to necessarily bring in anybody else from outside your mastermind group, so you don't want people asking to join. So you just make it private, and then you send out invites to everyone in your mastermind group. It's all a secret. Mojo doesn't see it. No one else sees it. It's totally private. So what do public leagues look like? So when I click on public leagues, there are going to be a list of league names, the admin, who is in charge of that league, how many members are in it, and then the option to join it. Soon, in an update, we're actually going to have a description, which is going to show you basically what that admin feels their league is all about. Whether it's, to help you become a better prospector, whether it's just hardcore competition, and maybe that's not your style, or maybe they have a certain approach to prospecting that is a great fit for everybody in that league, and they tell you about it. But the bottom line is there's going to be a description here soon, which will kind of give you the flavor of that league, because maybe you don't want to join a particular league based on what the description says. And I want you, and we want you to have that capability to make that decision. You can search leagues. So if someone gives you a league name that they want you to join, you can go ahead and search it, because there's quite a few in there. You probably don't want to scroll. What does it look like when we have data populated? Hold that thought. I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. We're in a new account, and I've had the developers go in and make up some mock dialing sessions for me in the back end so that I can present to you some data. We've seen how to set it up. What's it look like once it's set up? All right, so I'm going to go ahead over to, again, this personal dashboard icon here. And here we go. All right, this is pretty cool. So the time frame that I have for the quick KPI metrics, I have 7 days. It's selected right now. You can see I've dialed for 20 hours, 2,000 phone calls, 200 contacts. Those are all nice even numbers. Dialing time towards my goal, because I set a pretty lofty goal of 150 hours prospecting, and I've gone about halfway through that. So I'm at 77 hours. I've made 8,000 of 10,000 phone calls. I've got 800 of 8,000 contacts made, which is a rate of 10%. I've generated 10 leads, and wow, I have a 50% appointment setting rate on those leads. I am fantastic. So I've made set 5 out of 20 appointments. And again, back to the thing I really like about this, it tells me, right? Normally you have like a real live coach telling you, but in this case, in our Mojo personal dashboard, we tell you here in Mojo, like you 73 hours to hit your goal. You have 2,000 more calls you have to make. You have to make another, 7,200 contacts, which is obviously pretty lofty. You have 30 leads to go, and you have 15 appointments to go. And we can see here that, in the last 7 days, I've made 100 calls per hour, 10 contacts per hour, 10% contact rate. In the last 7 days, I hadn't set any appointments or leads according to the data they put in it. But here we go. This is cool. So we have in the last 30 days, we have 103.9 calls per hour, 10.39 contacts per hour, 10 calls per contact, 10% contact rate, and then this gets neat. 7 hours and 42 minutes of dialing per lead. I don't suggest you, if that's taking you that long, you probably need to work on your phone game. But it's 800 calls per lead, and then we go down to appointments, same thing, 15 hours, almost 15 and a half hours per appointment. You get the idea. This is great. This is a great feedback for you as a prospector. Okay, let's go over to the team leaderboard. Here we go. We've got 3 agents on this account. The lofty goals were set, 80 hours of 500 hours in terms of dialing time have been generated so far. 8,300 calls of 20,000, the goal, have been called. Again, we can see here that David, dashboard 2, this agent, he's doing the heavy lifting, right? He's making all the calls, spending all the time, generating all the leads, and setting all the appointments, basically. This is something you'd see as well. Let's go to total revenue. At total revenue, we made $20,000 this month. So from our last month, from August 1st to August 31st. And, we've generated $2,000 per prospecting hour, $20 per prospecting call, $200 per contact. This, again, is a great way for you to break down if you're being effective on the phone, or if your assistant or ISA is being effective. And this is all built into the Mojo system. So we've got the personal dashboard. You can look at your metrics. You can add a goal to that and get instant feedback on that goal, your progress towards that goal. We've got the team leaderboard, which, again, if you're on a team, this is a great way to motivate people. You keep it up on the wall. It keeps people wanting to chase that carrot. We've got the total revenue area, and then, of course, we've got the leagues, which there's no data populated here, but there are a bunch of leagues right now inside of Mojo on the public side of things that you can join. That's going to wrap up this video. The leagues are just a piece of what the entire Mojo dashboard, prospecting dashboard is all about. Remember, personal dashboard with goals if you want, the team leaderboard with goals, the leagues, and, of course, the total revenue. If you guys have any questions at all, please just give us a call, 877-859-6656, or send us a ticket through Mojo. My staff would love to talk about this. It's so much more fun than importing file talk, right? So give us a call, and until next time, make it a great day.